Mate, welcome to Dubai.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on bringing the car to the UAE finally.
Thanks.
And congratulations for 23 awards, well, record-breaking on the Nevera. Now, this is out there already with the public. What's next for Rimac?
Well, this is pretty fresh for us. So the Nevera, we worked on it for 5 years. We started deliveries of the car last year, and now we are ramping up the production and so on. So we are still focused on the Nevera. On the other side, there's lots of other things going on also with us providing technology to other car companies.
Right.
Even now we are venturing into the energy business, so stationary storage, because batteries is our main business,
Right.
batteries for cars. But now we also started to make batteries for energy storage,
Okay.
For renewable energy and so on.
Right.
And on the other side, also the new Bugatti is being developed, coming out soon.
Okay.
The success of the Shivaum, so that's also a big part of what I'm doing at the moment.
So when we look at the new products coming from Rimac and Bugatti, how are we going to be seeing them positioned? Are we seeing them together or separate entities in that sense completely?
Well, from a brand perspective and product perspective, completely differently. And like personally, I feel like an artist with two canvases. You know, I have one canvas doing crazy stuff, focused more on technology in the future.
Right.
And then with Bugatti, you know, with the amazing brand of over 100 years,
Right.
and the history of that brand and the heritage, and also the recent history with the Shivaum and so on, it's very different. And Rimac is, let's say, now it's fully electric.
Right.
But in the future, we might develop some, because when I started to do this 15 years ago, electric was something wacky, crazy, like everybody was wondering, why are you doing that? Today, electric is normal.
Right.
So maybe something, the next for Rimac is not going to be electric, but something even crazier.
Right. Okay.
While Bugatti will still remain with combustion engines.
Right.
But also, you will see that in the interior and exterior design, it's going to be more, let's say, on the analog side, more traditional, more focused on craftsmanship and history, while Rimac is more focused on, let's say, the future and technology.
Right. Okay. So two clear canvases, two clear different directions in that sense. You also mentioned that you'll be supplying, or you are supplying already components to all other EV manufacturers. Would you think you want to go down the route in producing a more accessible product for the market as well? Since you are doing the energy business, you spoke about the mobility business as well that you are starting up. So what about a more consumer-focused product for the audience?
Yeah, well, you know, we reach, let's say, a broader audience through our technology, because actually what you see here is a showcase of what is possible, but then it trickles down into the broader market and more affordable vehicles.
Right.
So what we do for the Nevera then ends up in a Porsche or in a Hyundai or
Right.
in a BMW or something like
Right.
that. And those cars are not on the same price level like the Nevera,
Right.
so it goes down. So with that, we reach a broader market. And we have a third company that's called P3 Mobility that's, let's say, still under the radar.
Right.
But what I can tell you is this year we'll publicly announce it. And this is all about personal mobility
Right.
and how you get around town in the best way.
Okay.
With cars you don't drive yourself, but the car drives itself, and the cars that you don't own. So that's something you could consider for the broad market. But us doing a car for the mainstream is absolutely something we would not do, because I feel like that market is very crowded already, and there is very good offerings for the consumer already. Because I think traditional brands have started to make really good electric cars.
Right.
Newcomers or relatively newcomers, like Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, and so on,
Right.
also have very good offerings, and there is more coming. So, and then of course the Asian players, Chinese, coming
Yeah.
into the market. So I think the offering is very broad already. The consumer has lots to choose from. So that's something we don't feel is necessary if we go in that market.
So moving on from this aspect, when we look at Rimac producing different types of technology and EVs becoming more broader, accepted into the market, but we are also seeing a lot of headwinds for EV sales globally at this point of time. We want to look at net neutrality as an option, or actually a big part of global strategy. Do you think the pathway to that being adopted by everybody is actually the right way? And the materials that are going into building batteries and all the mining and everything is actually the future and the right way to do things? Or do you think we're going to adopt something else in the future?
Well, there's a few elements to this. First, whatever you do, whether it's combustion or electric, the way we own cars today
Right.
is, in my opinion, pretty flawed when you look from the environmental perspective, because there's like tons of material like aluminum, steel,
Right.
copper, plastic, whatever inside here, and lots of processing energy and so on for an asset that you use very rarely, that you use basically 3 to 5% of the time. So you spend your second largest investment in your life after your house to into a car that you only use a few percent of the time.
Right.
And that's the same whether it's electric or combustion.
Right.
Now, electric cars are simply more efficient. There is no way around it.
Correct.
And, I'm very, how would I say, self-critic. I will tell you the good things about our cars or electric cars, and the bad sides as well.
Right.
So, it is true that with 0 miles, a combustion car has lower emissions when they come from the factory than an electric car. But that's improving all the time. Electric cars are coming closer, and as soon as you start using electric cars very quickly,
Right.
they catch up. It's simple. Electric motors are simply more efficient than combustion engines.
Right.
And that is coming, and now it's a bit, I would say, the narrative has changed a bit, where there was a big hype around electric cars the last few years. Now it's slowed down a bit, which is normal.
Right.
It will go up again, and it doesn't really matter if it's a couple of years, delay or like slower ramp up. It doesn't really matter. But what I think is really the big change, and that's what we are doing with our robotaxi business, is when you don't drive the car yourself anymore and you don't own it. So you don't need the parking spaces because the car is not waiting for you. The car is utilized all the time.
Yeah.
The utilization can be, instead of a few percent, can be 50, 60, 70%. And that's a big change. That's a really big change.
Definitely.
That's a much bigger change than going from combustion to electric.
Right.
It's the change in ownership and driving, where the car just runs without the driver, and it's not waiting for anybody. It just goes to the next person, and that really changes the economics, but also the environmental footprint of it.
So the idea is to actually take away personal mobility from you owning it to making it mass mobility and giving access to the greater public to use the product.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's taking away. Like, it's actually funny that we are here at the Polo
Ground, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, at least where I'm from, a couple of generations ago, everybody had horses.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And today, nobody has horses.
Yeah.
But it's not because it's forbidden. You can still have a horse if that's what you decide. If you want to allocate your resources in terms of your time, your money, space, to have a horse,
Right.
you can still do it. And some people do it, as you can see here. But the majority has decided to allocate the resources somewhere else.
Right.
And then the question is, coming now in the coming decades, when you have convenient options available. And I think that's very important to say, because some people feel like this is taking away ownership. It's not. It's just providing a very convenient solution that is there to choose if you like to allocate your resources and time to a more efficient form of transport.
Right.
If you like cars, if you're a car enthusiast like me and many other people, you will still own your car.
Right.
But you don't have to. So that's, I think, what will happen.
Thank you so much. Last two questions. What has been your proudest moment in terms of achievement in your journey until now?
Oh, tough one. I think the chances of success for us, or actually I wouldn't call it success yet, but the chances of us being here from where I started was 0.000
Right.
something. So standing here today, that the company is still alive and I don't have to worry about paying the next salary, that's my, so
Spoken like a true businessman, a true entrepreneur.
that's,
And which is your personal favorite car to drive from your garage?
well, obviously the Nevera, because it's like, so Nevera ruins everything else for you, because everything becomes slow. So after Nevera, like all the other cars, you can only enjoy them for other things. So if I remove the Nevera, and so let's say all our cars that we do, so I remove Bugatti and I remove Rimac's cars, I have a Carrera GT and it's a lot of fun.
That is my money no bar car.
Yeah.
The day I get my ton of gold, that's the first car I'm buying.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Likewise.
Best of luck.